All right, man. Good morning to you, beautiful people. Top of the morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us here live this morning, New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read. You put in the book, and we absolutely will find it. I'm your host, ERGJ, certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises and the Black Bazaar. And we're going to be hopping right into this thing here, man. 30 minutes a day to keep broke and stupid away. Now, we are continuing our journey into a book written by Mr. Dennis Kimbro called The Wealth Choice, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires. And this is what the book looks like. You can find this book by going to the website, www.denniskimbro.com. And we are in a section called 9 Disciplines of Black Millionaires. Now, if you are a Black author or know of a Black author that's written anything in this space, which would be finance, business, motivation, or development, personal business development, I'd love to find out about that author and quite possibly bring their book to the show. But we're going to continue journeying along through this here and get what we can out of it. Now, we left off yesterday in discipline number 4, which was creativity and innovation, recognize the power of ideas. And so we'll finish up, I guess, the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 disciplines here today for which is the 9 disciplines of Black millionaires. While you guys are connected, man, go and let us know where you're connecting from, what city, what state, what country, what state, what country. We broadcast across the World Wide Web here on Facebook and YouTube. So we know we have a global reach, just don't know how far that reach is. So love to know where you're connected from this morning. Good morning to you, Miss Goodrich is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us. First in, as always, Miss Vivian Reed is here with us. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Shiro, good morning to you. Top of the morning to you as well, man. Getting our mind right as we go and tackle the day. Hit the like button, share button if you care. Like button, share button if you care. New Black Wall Street Book Club, 9 disciplines of Black millionaires. 9 disciplines of Black millionaires. Let's read. So this is discipline number 5. And it says, which is never consider the possibility of failure. Never consider the possibility of failure. That could be difficult for many of us. Never consider the possibility of failure. If you're afraid to fail, I suggest that you read no further. Close this book and retreat back to the huddled masses, to the humbled crowd, and to the status quo. Each day, countless obscure men and women march to their graves simply because of fear or timidity and lack of courage prevented them from trying or even taking a chance. Even worse, the fear of failure stopped them. Perhaps the greatest common trait among the wealthy is their willingness to face failure and rejection and their resilience in picking themselves up and moving on. Self-made millionaires are realistic enough to expect challenges and setbacks. Further, they do not become discouraged or depressed by difficulties or temporary defeat. Mention the word risk to a millionaire, and he or she will only hear the term money. As a result, they find promise where others find pessimism. As one respondent shared, in the process of chasing your dream, optimism is not a luxury, but a necessity. They know that success builds character, but failure reveals it. Failure is never fatal. It is the down payment you pay for success. Growing up in the houses of Omaha, Nebraska, neighbors told Nathaniel Goldston that he would never rise above anything more than a head waiter. 30 years later, Goldston, the chief executive officer of Gourmet Food Services, was in charge of a company that surpassed the 170 million mark. It mattered not who or what stood in his path, not ridicule, poverty, or the possibility of humiliating defeat would deter him. Over the course of my career, I failed more times than I can count, Goldston admitted during an interview. And each time, failure has always rendered a special gift. It's called wisdom. So if at first you don't succeed, welcome to the club. There's little point in dismissing an idea by saying it might fail. Any idea might fail. If you're committed to achieving your financial goals, you'll suffer your fair share of failure. Bank on it. If you are committed to achieving your financial goals, you will suffer your fair share of failure. Discipline number 5 Again, never consider the possibility of failure. Good morning to you, Miss Chandra McLean. Thanks so much for joining us. Huntsville, Alabama is in the house, man. Thanks so much for joining us. Brooklyn is joining us here today as well. Wisdom is powerful. That's right, Miss Goodrich. Wisdom is powerful. And each time, I'm going to read this again. Each time, failure has always rendered a special gift called wisdom. Man, so, again, guys, this is a very key discipline here. Many of us stop ourselves before we even get started just by thinking of what could be, or what, they say fear is false evidence appearing real, right? So it's something that could happen, but more than likely only will happen if you keep thinking about it. So focus on, I find it interesting that people can focus on what will happen for the negative versus focusing on what will happen for the positive. Like, okay, this could fail, but yeah, it's possible it could fail, but it's also possible that you can succeed. So why not focus on the succeed part? I don't know. That's something that we have to get over in our own mind. But millionaires never consider the possibility of failure. Discipline number 6 of the 9 disciplines of Black millionaires. They're inquisitive, a strong desire to know, and quick to absorb and apply new information. Inquisitive, strong desire to know, quick to absorb and apply new information. During a time when society's reading habits wane, both at home and in school, and a television viewing steadily increases, the wealthy shun this wasteful habit and continue their never-ending quest to grow, study, and absorb new information. So many people fail to increase their earnings because they don't make financial literacy a priority. According to the Nielsen Wire, the global leader in consumer insights, the average African-American household spends more than 7 hours each day, 40% more than the overall population, and nearly 9 times that of the average Black millionaire watching television. The wealthy, however, read nearly $2 per month, and the genre, mostly history, biographies, or money management. Basically, any subject or topic that might provide advice, useful information, or cautionary tales. As you've learned by now, a formal education is not required to join the 7-figure club. Truth be told, a handful of multimillionaires in the study never ventured past the 10th grade. Although I found these men and women to be no more gifted than others, each had developed an insatiable desire for knowledge and information. They stand out because they had taken the time to prepare, to read and study, and to develop their full potential without the benefit of a formal schooling. Affirming a commitment to wealth means becoming a student of wealth. Everybody put in comments, so become a student of wealth. You must learn the language of money. It means living by this maxim. If you wish to be wealthy, you must study the acquisition of wealth. The millionaires among us are inquisitive. Their curiosity propels them forward. They take classes to augment their financial literacy and ask for advice from those who are where they want to be. The wealthy possess a voracious hunger for knowledge and absolutely no appetite for ignorance. A strong desire to know. What's going on with you? Miss Jennifer Almano is in the house. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Brother Amari was in the house, man. Sharon Adams, thanks so much for joining. Become a student of wealth. Let me read this again, this little part here. Because this is, obviously we're partaking in that this morning. Affirming a commitment to wealth means becoming a student of wealth. You must learn the language of money. It means living by this maxim. If you wish to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way, you must study the acquisition of wealth. If you wish to be wealthy, you must study the acquisition of wealth. So the 6th discipline of the 9 of the Black millionaires, they're inquisitive, have a strong desire to know, and they're quick to absorb and apply new information. Discipline number 7 of the 9 disciplines of Black millionaires. Again, this is coming out of the book, The Wealth Choice, by the Success Secrets of Black Millionaires, written by Dr. Dennis Kimbro. Discipline number 7, strong sales skills. Sell is not a 4-letter word. They got strong sales skills, the ability to influence. Millionaires not only openly engage in the sales process, they embrace the activity. Although some may detest being labeled a salesperson, those profiled in the study are proud of the term. Why? Because the selling process is the most effective and efficient way to increase your earnings and reach your financial goals. In short, sales equal income. Everybody put that in the comments below. Sales equal income. The Black financial elite are thoroughly prepared, completely engaged sales professionals, tough enough to deal with any rejection, resilient enough to overcome any objection, and caring enough to help customers and clients achieve their goals. For this special group, selling takes on a positive, proactive, and even creative aura. It provides continual opportunities to understand real customer needs, to be responsive to changes in the market, and to create value, a subject I touch upon later in Chapter 5. The wealthy know that selling is not just a business skill, but an essential life skill. They live by this mantra: nothing occurs until somebody sells something. Nothing. Hear me loud and clear. There's no way to avoid it. Wealth creation requires effective sales skills. And my question to the audience here is, as this is a discipline, how many guys have actually taken a sales class or read a sales book or have become serious about increasing your ability to sell? We might want to tag Brian Keith McNeil in this one. Barbara Smith has always had big dreams, but more important, thanks in part to her convincing sales skills, she has made those dreams a reality. When she was barely 20 years old, driven by her deep love for fashion, Smith auditioned numerous times for the Ebony Fashion Fair line before convincing Eunice Johnson, the wife of publisher John H. Johnson, the director of the annual traveling tour, that her looks and grace could entice top European designers. Her persuasiveness paid off. As she strode down the runway, her artistry and authenticity convinced French and Italian fashion icons that not only should Black women be in their shows, but women of color should be in their clothes. After landing a position with the Chicago-based couture trendsetter, Ebony Fashion Fair, Smith moved to New York, the heart of the fashion world, where she had a rewarding career as an international runway print and commercial model. In 1976, Smith, the first Black woman to do so, landed the cover of Mademoiselle magazine. Most models retire by the age of 30, but Smith continued working and kept her sights on loftier goals, pursuing another childhood love, food. Smith learned the restaurant business at night and modeled during the day. And although she hadn't intended to create a lifestyle brand, the end result was clear: a multimedia empire that includes 2 books and 2 television shows. Be Smith with style and Be Smart tips for a better life that air in a variety of markets. It's taken me longer, she proudly asserts, but I've done it my way. And the business is 100% African-American owned. At last count, Smith products and licensing produced $75 million in annual sales. This one-time high-priced fashion model clearly knows how to sell her ideas. And that's the Millionaires' brilliance: how to sell your ideas. Every millionaire brings his or her own unique talents, knowledge, and experience to a business venture. But all, in one way or another, sell. They sell themselves, they sell their concepts, they sell their business plans, their products and services, they even sell their hopes and dreams. Clearly, if you hope to join the most influential body, this overlooked skill must become your practiced and prized asset. As a participant in an Atlanta, Georgia focus group told me, marketing, promotion, and advertising no longer provide the path to growth. If you hope to generate $1 million income, you must win the war in the marketplace by mastering the art of one-on-one selling. You must be able to sell your story, as well as your experience, your mission, and your expertise. You must be willing to sell your story, as well as your experience, your mission, and your expertise. And this is discipline number 7, guys. Again, strong sales skills. Now, I imagine some of us that heard this, that kind of made you shrink a little bit because you may hate the idea of selling. But again, it's the art of persuasion, the art of influence, being able to, again, sell yourself, your concepts, your business plans, your products or services, and even your hopes and dreams. Don't you know there's some people who will buy into your dream? There are some people who will invest in your plan. There's some people who may invest in your concept, your product or service. There's some people who will invest in you. But I'll say this, before you can get other people to really invest in you authentically, you got to invest in yourself. And one of those areas that you may want to invest in is improving your sales skills. All right. What do you guys think about that, man? Discipline number 5, again, 9 disciplines of Black millionaires. Never consider the possibility of failure. Discipline number 6, inquisitive, strong desire to know, quick to absorb and apply new information. Discipline number 7, strong sales skills. Sale is not a 4-letter word. We'll be right back, guys, with our last 2 disciplines of the 9 disciplines of Black millionaires right after this. As I mentioned to you guys, this New Black Wall Street Book Club is all about highlighting Black authors who've written something in the space of business, finance, motivation, or development. I'm an author myself of the Black Billionaires Club, a book I wrote 3 years ago or so, maybe 4 years now, working on version 2. You can find that book by simply going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. And while you're there, we also have a club. We've not only was it a book, but it turned into a mission to galvanize brothers and sisters who are serious about building wealth and serious about building business. So if that's you and you're saying, you know what, I want to connect with like-minded people in that arena or that area, well, when you get there, there's a tab called Join the Club, and you can decide to invest in yourself, where we help you to increase or sell yourself better, sell your concepts better, put that business plan and stuff together as well. You can do that simply going to theblackbillionairesclub.com and choosing to become a member of our club. If you are a BBC member, if you join us here today, go ahead and put a console hashtag BBC. Love to let people know that we are representing here this morning as we continue along in our journey, going through the book, The Wealth Choice. Book written by our brother, Dr. Dennis Kimbro, Success Secrets of Black Millionaires. You can find by going to the website, www.denniskimbro.com, www.denniskimbro.com. And we are going to finish up with our last 2 disciplines of Black millionaires. Now, that's a key word, discipline, right? Something that you and I decide to do that becomes a habit, and we do it consistently. It becomes a part of who we are. It's a discipline, something that we stick to, right? Discipline, right? That's right. Where Iola said, hey, discipline is everything. Can't wait to have you on the show. Still have your book, and I read most of it. Very interesting. I love it. Absolutely. Thanks so much, Ms. Goodrich. Absolutely. What's going on, brother? Amar said, that's on point, my brother. Absolutely, man. Invest and improve my sales skills. Y'all serious about that thing as well. All right, I'll sell myself and my business. Yes, yes, yes. Brother Lowry, thanks so much for joining us today, man. Been doing a wonderful job in that real estate industry. Fantastic. Discipline number 8, savings. All right. Thrifty and frugal in nature. Savings. Let's read. Raised by his mother in Chicago, Tennessee, Usher Raymond is a prime example of a young man of modest means making good. His parents split when he was an infant, and he has not had much contact with his father since then. His mother remarried and gave birth to another son, James. While working as a medical claims examiner, her oldest son began performing with a local group. The first to gauge his innate talent, she decided to expose him to more opportunities and moved the family to Atlanta, Georgia, the center of a humming new urban music scene. 1 year later, after singing in the Star Search contest, Usher signed with BMG's LaFace Records, which was headed by Antonio L.A. Reid. Usher's debut album, released in 1994, sold more than 500,000 copies. 3 years later, worldwide sales of his second album reached 5 million and allowed the performer to cash his first major check for $1 million through a deal with EMI Music Publishing. The young man had just turned 17. Today, Usher sits atop the hip-hop and R&B music scene. His music is downloaded worldwide. He tours internationally, performing in sold-out venues. He stars in films and rubs shoulders with Hollywood legends and dates supermodels. Still in his 30s, he has everything he could ever want. He lives in a $2.8 million hideaway mansion and owns a stake in the NBA's Cleveland Cavaliers, occupying a courtside seat and high-fiving other stars and celebrities. To date, his record company, Sony BMG, has paid him more than $20 million. In 2005, he grossed more than $20 million on a 64-city tour and made deals to star in movies, commanding a salary of $8 million each. On top of that, he renegotiated his music contract, securing a pretty much non-refundable advance of more than $50 million. But this story is not about the young superstar or the next king of pop, nor should you, the reader, be concerned with one man's life of wealth, excess, and comfort that few have ever experienced. No, this 8th discipline centers on a simple question addressed to those who wish to enter the hallowed gates of affluence and prosperity. Yes, Usher has grown quite wealthy very fast, but will he stay wealthy? Falling prey to the trappings of notoriety, success, fast cars, expensive homes, and large entourages, young entertainers lose their fortunes as fast as they make them. Over-the-top spending, shoddy financial advice, and dealings with shady handlers can leave them broke even before their brief fame ends. But let me be clear, I'm not to judge. Usher is entitled to spend his money as he pleases. He has settled on a chosen profession and is a firm believer in his talents and abilities. Though he makes succeeding look easy, he has fought hard for every inch of ground he has covered. He deserves to reap his rewards and the fruits of his efforts. And now, thanks in part to a team of advisors who will constantly drill the basic tenets of thrift and frugality, this A-list performer vows to keep his spending under control. During our initial meeting, says Ruben McDaniel, Usher's investment advisor and head of Jackson Securities in Atlanta, he was running through his money so fast it frightened him. But then Usher confided, I don't want to be some old, washed-up performer singing in lounges for the rest of my life. I know I have the talent to entertain. I just want to be a great businessman. He solemnly pledged that he will never be broke. Everybody put in console, I'll never be broke. From there, we develop a strategy that will place him on solid ground, fixed income investments, blue chip stocks, and real estate, and consuming less than 10% of his total earnings. This plan, as well as other investment opportunities, will create and maintain his earnings long after anyone cares to hear him sing or watch him dance. We got him to buy into the philosophy, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. And now he applies the same outlook to all his business ventures. When, like any smart money manager, Usher was ready to diversify, he turned to a cadre of mentors, Dick Parsons of Citigroup, former basketball great Magic Johnson, and hip-hop moguls Russell Simmons and Sean Puffy Combs, individuals who are skilled in all phases of creating wealth. There's no magical formula. These steps call for no extra effort. They call for no personal sacrifice, but few individuals know how to utilize their earnings properly. For example, today, U.S. credit card debt is at an all-time high, $60 billion, and the average family owes more than $7,000. 89% of the U.S. population operates less than 4 paychecks away from disaster, and nearly one half of all African Americans will retire on less than $900 per month. McDaniel is a member of the 7-Figure Club because, among other things, he knows the devastation of living beyond your means. Like his fellow millionaires, he thinks deeply before he spends and loads debt. When it comes to our money, we can earn it, hoard it, spend it, save it, waste it, or worship it. But to deal with it wisely, as a means to an end, is an education worth its weight in gold. As the book of Matthew instructs, what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Thrift and savings are the first step to prosperity and abundance. More than talent, intellect, education, or skill, the habit of saving is the key to amassing a fortune. The philosophy of the wealthy versus the poor proves that the rich invest their money and spend what's left. The poor spend their money and invest what's left. Pay yourself first, Black millionaires admonish. The habit of thrift not only opens the door of opportunity, but is a safeguard against our weaknesses and the tendency to scatter our earnings. It is by the mysterious power of savings that your resources grow, that the loaf is multiplied, that the little becomes much, that the scattered fragments grow to unity, and that out of nothing comes the miracle of something. Such disciplined habits allow anyone to surprise the world with gifts even if he or she is poor. Unless you make it a cast iron rule to lay aside a certain percentage of your earnings each week, each month, your dream of financial independence will just be that, a dream. In closing, the lesson is clear. You must learn to save and budget if you hope to join the ranks of those who boast seven-figure incomes. You must understand the concept of compound interest, how it works in your favor when you add money each month into your 401k and hurts when you pay the minimum on your credit card debt. You must learn that low monthly payments don't equal affordability. You must read the fine print. You must learn how to pay cash because cash hurts. You must be aware of the seductive power of marketing and separate your wants from your needs. And finally, if you do nothing but change the way you manage your current income, your life will change for the better. It's not what you earn that makes you wealthy. It's what you keep. It's not what you earn that makes you wealthy. It's what you keep. And coming back to the investment advisor, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. Discipline number 8, savings. Thrifty and frugal in nature. How many guys have gotten to a space now as we move into, as we're now in 2021, that you're slowly but surely getting to a space where you're spending less than you earn. Now, I know that's a transition for many people, right? We may have developed the habit of having to have what we want. But I tell you, I think 2020 should have helped with that, right? Help curb that a little bit. Because maybe you wasn't getting out as much. Maybe you wasn't spending as much. I don't know. You could still have that desire getting online and all that stuff. But I believe people started to say, I just don't need all that stuff that I thought that I needed before, right? The basic tenet to financial freedom or financial independence is to live on less than you earn. If you never do that, you will never be wealthy. It's just that simple. If you never get to a space where you are spending less than you earn, it is mathematically impossible for you to be wealthy. You can have the look of wealth, but still be broke as a joke and one paycheck away from financial disaster. Savings, right? Thrift and frugality in nature, all right? So that's discipline number 8. These are disciplines that Black millionaires, right? This is what's in them. This is what links them. These are the similarities. These are a part of their makeup for the most part, right? Similar things that I found when I wrote the book that I wrote, Black Billionaires Club. I was looking for commonality. What makes them similar? What links them together? And this is discipline number 9. Our last discipline of Black millionaires, spirituality, the gospel of wealth. Spirituality, the gospel of wealth. Where do Black millionaires draw their inspiration and in turn inspire us? From a close personal relationship with their creator and a belief that the Almighty has a plan for their life. This relationship is the elixir the soul craves, the glue that holds spirit and dreams together, an act of faith, a faith that provides inner strength on a consistent basis, is the first and last order of business of Black billionaires. This faith is the language of their heart, the center of a truly, regardless of their millions, humble life. Their deeply personal crusade is not so much the fervor of a come-lately Christian, but the steady quest of a peaceful soul bent on doing good and one day hoping to meet their maker. Believe me, the Black financial elite have found God, not the God we meet every Sunday in church or the power we frequently pray to, but the Heavenly Father who keeps them standing in good times and in bad. The God who sits high and looks low, the all-knowing, all-seeing spirit they embrace for meaning in their lives. The God who can mold a mere lump of breathing clay, who can chip away and pound us remorselessly to bring out our possibilities, who can strip us of our ego and vanity, who can humble our pride, humiliate our ambition, knock us off the ladder of success, only to eventually lift us to heights and sights unseen. Many of the people we call financially secure have overcome incredible struggles. More than a few have seen everything go up in smoke. Some have endured loss of family and friends, homelessness, bankruptcy, and bouts with depression so horrific it seems a miracle they survived. At one time, nearly all those surveyed within the study have danced with disaster. Yet it's not tragedy that forms the essence of great comebacks. It's tenacity, perseverance, and an ever-present abiding faith. Case in point, gospel artist and mega producer Kirk Franklin's road to wealth has been anything but easy. Adopted at an age of 4, Franklin was reared by an aunt, a deeply spiritual woman who scrapped up enough money from her monthly Social Security check to pay for her nephew's piano lessons. It was money well spent. As a child, Franklin was a quick study. The natural musician could sight, read, and play by ear. By age 11, he was leading the adult choir at Mount Rose Baptist Church near Dallas, Texas. But in spite of his religious upbringing, Franklin's rebellious ways got the better of him. Not until a close friend was accidentally shot and killed in his teens did the young musician realize the error of his ways. Hoping to bring an end to his grieving, Franklin channeled his efforts into composing and producing his own music. The result, his debut album, Kirk Franklin and the Family, spent nearly 2 years on the Billboard gospel charts. Amazingly, a few of his tracks crossed into R&B, the first of its type to do so. Follow-up projects such as Stomp and New Nation, highly charged hip-hop efforts, aired on urban radio across the country. As his music leaked to the pop charts, Franklin became known as the king of gospel with a lifestyle to match. But fame and adulation wouldn't last long. Although more traditional gospel artists paved the way for the blending of gospel and more contemporary sounds, Franklin was dismissed by many in music circles because of his upfront appropriation of hip-hop, R&B, and pop culture. Often critics argued it was difficult to determine whether Franklin was truly singing gospel, at least the old school gospel or our forebears rocked to on a Sunday mornings. Though he expanded his artistic reach by producing music with performers such as Mary J. Blige and Bono by 1998, Franklin's own album sales weren't impressive. With his influence in decline and faced with fickle fans, it wasn't long before he lost his home, cars, and nearly his marriage. The king of gospel was literally forced to change his tune. Trapped by material success in a spiritual world, once again, Franklin faced his demons outside of the bright lights. What does it value the man who inherits the world but loses his soul? He asked. He's leaned on his favorite biblical verse. Few of us stop to realize and appreciate the underserved blessings that have been heaped our way. I've been given more than I could ask for. But what truly matters? The love of my wife, my children, and friends, plus a talent to share. I mean, let's face it, he continued. I still wear the finest suits, but that chapter of my life is no longer important. You can only drive one car at a time, no matter how many you own. What kept me going during those down years? Look, no further than Romans 8:28. All things work together for good of those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. In other words, it's all good. Everybody put in console, it's all good. The true character of a man or woman will emerge in the toughest of times. And this may be the greatest lesson for you. Instead of giving in to despair, use the difficulties of the day to strengthen your deepest layer of metal. As the aforementioned profiles underscore, you are urged to work hard, be honest in all business dealings, and trust in the Lord. As one interviewee told me, if you have the faith, God certainly has the power. If you have the faith, God certainly has the power. Oh Lord! Oh, I can see where we're going with this tomorrow. We're gonna wrap it up there today. I know we want to. I want to keep reading, but we're gonna wrap it up there. And then tomorrow we're actually going to finish the introduction of this book, The Wealth Choice, which is the wealth of knowledge. We'll be finishing that up tomorrow before we get into chapter 1 next week. This is all the introduction, by the way. It's all good. So that's the 9 disciplines of Black millionaires. Let me just review those for you guys again before we wrap this thing up. This is discipline number 1: be passionate and focus on unique strengths. Develop a clear delineated goals. Discipline number 2: autonomous and independent, deep need for internal control, highly motivated self-starters. Discipline number 3: industrious, strong work ethic, and a bias for action. Discipline number 4: creativity and innovation. Recognize the power of ideas. Discipline number 5: never consider the possibility of failure. Discipline number 6: inquisitive, strong desire to know, quick to absorb and apply new information. Discipline number 7: strong sales skills. Sale is not a 4-letter word. Discipline number 8: savings, thrifty and frugal in nature. And discipline number 9: spirituality, the gospel of wealth. Well, beautiful people, hope that you have enjoyed our reading here this morning, Reading Rainbow 2.0. All right, take a look. It's in a book. That's right. Kurt Franklin, he sings gospel music. I love that. Absolutely. We become blessed financially and don't know how to keep it. It's all good. Absolutely. It's all good. Absolutely. What an interesting journey he's been on. Yeah, we're gonna read more and more stories about the journeys of these people that are still here today. We'll find out more about them and how they made it and all that stuff all through this book. Again, The Wealth Choice. Success Secrets of Black Millionaires, written by Dr. Dennis Kimbro. You can find that book going to the website www.drdenniskimbro.com, www.denniskimbro.com. Well, beautiful people, that's it, man. We got New Black Wall Street Book Club, where Black folk do read. If you put it in a book, we absolutely will find it. 30 minutes a day to keep broke and stupid away. I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
New black. It's the New Black Wall Street Book Club. New Black Wall Street. With your host, Evan Jefferson. It's time for us to go. Yeah. Now, you ain't got to leave the computer, but we encourage you to get out there and learn and apply all the things you learn at the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Yeah. The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street Book Club.